What's up, y'all? Shoe Booty Sports coming at you Tuesday, per the almost always. I'm Grandpa on this screen. That's Bradley on the other. Say what's popping, Brad.
What's going on?
Bradley, very close to the screen. We're getting quite the close up of the pores. It's a good thing. You were in the sauna today, I assume.
Yeah,
Okay. What are you looking at on the computer?
as given a more zoomed in.
Okay, looked like you were looking at something in particular, but that's okay. Yeah, for everyone that wants to see Bradley's pores, check out the show on Spotify and YouTube, the watch option there. Anyway, before we get going with the other part of the show, the rest of it, we're going to give a quick shout out to our sponsor. Shoe Booty Sports is presented by Rhino Races. Rhino Races is a virtual race series that offers 5 different races: a 5K, 10K, half marathon, a marathon, and the one of a kind Rhino Ultra. You can sign up for one or all 5 of their races at rhinoraces.com. Run your race at your convenience. Track it with your fitness app of choice. Screenshot your results as proof of completion. Submit that screenshot to rhinoraces.com under the submit results section. Once your results are verified by Rhino Races staff, your award will be sent to you by mail. Also, check out their gear section while you're there for t shirts, wristbands, decals, and more. That's rhinoraces.com. Rhino Races is the premier virtual running series, and you can find us, Shoe Booty Sports, on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on X at Shoe Booty Sports. Okay. Last time we had a show, we made our Final Four picks, our national championship picks. We got one of those right. We did not get it right about Michigan. Michigan. Okay, just describe how you watched the games Saturday. I'm sure it was different than mine.
Well, yeah, man, Saturday, it's pretty much did probably like 90% of the nation and watched it sitting on the couch. I tuned in a little late to the UConn Illinois game. I think that was the first one that started. Tuned into it about like, I don't know,
First one.
10 minutes into the first half. Thought it was starting at 5:45. I think it started at 5:15, so that was my bad. Um, but yeah, that game went kind of how I thought it would. Illinois was sticking around for a while, and UConn, pulled away at the end. But man, Michigan, Arizona, holy crap, that was yeah. Just my luck. Arizona came out and played like the Arkansas Razorbacks. Man, just couldn't buy a basket. It was terrible.
If only Arkansas would have seen that version of Arizona, they could have played for the right to get their asses handed to them by Michigan. Because I don't, Michigan looked like the best team in the country
Hands down.
from Saturday on. Uh, the only time I watched them play this year was when they played Duke or whatever it was, a couple a month or so ago, month or two ago.
2 months ago, I think.
Yeah, I think that's right. That's the only time I saw Michigan play. They looked like a really good team. Duke looked better, and they Duke was the better team that night. So I had every reason to think Duke was the best team in the country, judging that game, because that was all I'd seen Michigan play. Or because, of course, us being Arkansas alums and residents of the state, don't watch a lot of Michigan basketball, but they looked amazing from what I saw uh, Saturday. But also, Arizona had a bad game. They also played very poorly.
That's probably the worst game they've played in years.
Yeah, they looked.
Not just this season. It was years.
It was
Like
a
that was
bad
all
showing.
time bad. Yeah.
Yes. I know
Their top scorer.
they had a
Yeah,
slow start
Birds.
against Purdue, right? They were
Mhm.
down I think double digits or close to it at some point against Purdue, but then they got it together and came back and eventually won the game comfortably. I thought they would do the same thing against Michigan. I thought they would eventually snap out of it, and they just never did. But also, Michigan was a better team than Purdue, bigger, better uh, at the guard position. They just didn't have an answer.
They got it back to within five, and then yeah, let it all go again. So I don't know. Maybe they read too much up on themselves and started believing the hype that they were the greatest team because they came out and just straight up laid an egg.
Yeah, they did not look good all around. Like every aspect of the game for Arizona looked bad, and they looked incredible against Arkansas. And toward the end of the season, I mean, they looked really good throughout the tournament. Toward the end of the tournament, and then throughout the NCAA tournament until we got to the Final Four, and it was just a completely different game. I guess the stage was too big, or the stadium was too big. What is it? The depth perception that is
Ain't
an
buying
issue.
that. Yeah. The shooter's line, I'm not buying that. So everybody's played basketball outside before. So yeah. Hoop's a hoop. Throw it through it. Ain't that hard.
It is different. I remember playing. If you go like to just going from your gym to what you're used to an opponent's gym or just a different environment like that is something different to get used to. But you do, but the other team has to deal with it too. So there's that, and you do eventually adjust. But yeah, that would be different. But it's more so Arizona just looked like dog crap Saturday night. I asked to give me how your description of how you watched the game for mine. I had an interesting day Saturday. So this past weekend, I didn't. It's the rare weekend I didn't have a race. It was Easter Sunday. I know Run Bentonville half was going on, but I didn't do it. So I was at home. Actually, I was in Benton all weekend with the girlfriend, hanging out with her because we haven't seen each other. We haven't hung out with each other on a weekend for the whole weekend for a while. It's been a minute, just with my schedule and hers and everything going on. So I stayed at her place Friday. I got up and I went for a run Saturday afternoon. And another thing, it was my first day to sleep in a long time, so I took advantage of that. But I went for my run. It was I almost shit my pants. First 1 mile in, precisely 1 mile in, almost like had to go to the bathroom immediately. And I'm a mile from her house, and this is Benton, so I'm like I know this area a little bit just because there are a lot of races that the Saline County Striders put on in that exact area. So I was by the boys club. I was like, okay, maybe that I was in panic mode. Like I knew they were closed, but I was like, maybe a door's open or something. And like you're in panic mode, so you're not thinking straight. Sure enough, the door was locked, and I see I think it's like the Riverside Center or something like that next to it. I could see there were cars out there. I was like, okay, somebody's got to be in that building. But the entrance was on the other side of that building, and it might as well have been 2 miles away at that point. Because I mean, I got to go now. Um, so I'm just in my run to the on my way to that building, but I have to run by some baseball and softball fields before that. So I'm like, or on the way. So I was like, okay, there's got to be something there, even though there are no games going on. It's like, surely one of these doors is unlocked. And so I run by some geese that are just hanging out. I was like, don't mind me. And I just run through them. I know sometimes they can be aggressive or have been, but I didn't care at that point. It's what it was. Um, and it's probably a quarter mile or close to it to this bathroom. And I'm thinking of secondary options on the way there. I'm like, if this door is locked, there's a trash can with a bag in it right by the door, and there's that concrete wall in front of the door, you know. So I was thinking, okay, I have that option if this door is locked. It was that bad.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the door was unlocked, and the toilet and the bathroom, the floors were clean because nobody had played and that day. And Benton does the Parks and Rec crew do a great job keeping everything um, clean and nice there at the field. So fortunately, I got to relieve myself there. I go to finish my run because I'm good now, and I run by what's called the Sunset Lake Park or Sunset Lake, which is a little lake there with a 1 mile loop, a 1 mile like walking path, and saw one of the most interesting things I'd ever seen in my life, especially on a run. Running. down this path, and I see these ducks, like this group of three ducks, all clumped together, and I'm like, what is happening? And these two ducks had jumped this other duck, and they had it pinned down. They had the duck pinned down, and the other two were just pecking the shit out of its neck. I mean, really going at it. I'm worried about this duck, and I'm just like, hey, cut it, just naturally. I mean, hey, cut it out, or whatever I said. And like, I didn't stop, but I thought about it. But
You're just
me
like, what
saying,
the duck? Like,
yeah, exactly. And nice, nice pun there. But what me saying that was enough of a distraction for the duck that was getting beat up to like squirm its way out, and it did its best to just waddle itself away. And of course, the two got up and were quacking and going after it. It was one of the wildest things I'd ever seen. I mean, they were really beating up this. For all I know, the duck deserved it, but just
probably.
the humanity in me, it just wanted to put a stop to the violence against my fellow Earthling. And I was like, come on, we're better than this, y'all. But anyway, Duck, as far as I know, survived because they were intent on really hurting it, the other two ducks. So I don't know if it made it, but I gave it a window to get out of there. So I go back to Michelle's girlfriend, or Michelle is girlfriend, not Michelle's girlfriend. Michelle is my girlfriend. Okay, get back to Michelle's, hit the shower, get out, turn on the UConn, turn on the UConn game, and it's kind of a typical UConn. It was the UConn Illinois game I kind of thought it would be. It was close for a while, but UConn stayed ahead, and they were just the better team. Uh, I watched. I think we. I think we went to dinner. What did we do? We went to. Yeah, we went and got Mexican food at La Hacienda there in Benton. Very good Mexican restaurant in Benton. And we come back and we watch a good chunk of the Michigan Arizona game. And I keep waiting for Arizona to turn it on, and it just never happens. And I was just thinking, well, surely they're going to come back and make a game of this. Now, Michelle's best friend Ricky as in like Ricky Lake, um, her and her husband have they're going to start like a snow cone business. Like they have a snow cone trailer and everything, like the works. And they said we got some new flavors in that we're wanting to practice on and try out. And so if y'all want to come over and have a snow cone, yeah, feel free to come over when we get back from dinner. And it was like 9 o'clock or something that night. And so I was like, yeah, I can go for a snow cone. So we go over there and have a snow cone, and we're just hanging out. And then I just decided to check the score, and it was almost a 30-point game at that point. I was like, whoa, look at this. And I show everybody, and they're like, oh my God. Everybody was surprised. Yeah, Arizona never got it together. And uh, Michigan had something to do with that, but equally or more so, Arizona just had a really bad night.
I could have told you that was going to happen since my number one pick depended on Arizona. I knew they were going to shit the bed.
You were texting me you texted me, and I think it was shortly after I checked the score you had texted me, and that was when I responded when I did see the score. Yeah, that's a good point. you, do you really want the number one pick though? I mean, I know you do. I know that's
Yes,
what we play for. But the one
that's
time I had the number one pick, it went really poorly.
usually number one pick in our league gets to the championship.
Really.
Luke had number one pick last season. He won the championship.
That's true. I had a lot to do with that too, with my poor decision making. Um, who did Luke pick number one?
I don't know. All right, that league's different since it's keepers, so
Yeah, that
it's
was
not a
the
true
thing.
number one pick.
Yeah, that's true. How did that work exactly? I wasn't really sure on that because I think I was like eighth or something like that. And a lot of guys, I mean, it didn't look like your typical draft board because so many guys were able to be kept.
Yeah.
So how did that work exactly? You just get the first pick of whoever is available.
Available. Yep.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm keeping Puka Nakua, so he won't be
I
available.
guess technically I had first pick last year since I didn't keep anyone. So if you don't keep anyone, you get a pre-round pick, and it's the top people available. And I chose Stephon Diggs, who repeatedly, or not Stephon Diggs, freaking Jefferson, freaking, and he repeatedly shit the bed week after week, and was the worst pick on my team. And yeah, it was terrible. So he's definitely not a keeper this season. I don't care if they've got little shorty back there throwing him the ball or not. Just not going to keep him.
What if the Vikings somehow got Aaron Rodgers? Then would you keep him?
Not yeah, but it's not happening.
No, it's not. I just wanted to see what you would say about that. Yeah, if JJ McCarthy's throwing him the ball, I wouldn't keep him either. And
It's
that's
not.
who's going
No,
to be
it's got to
throwing.
be Murray.
Is that the word that's out there right now? Kyler Murray.
Yeah, what do you mean? That's the word that's out there. They've signed him.
Oh, it's done.
It's done. It's been done.
Okay. Well, I missed that entirely.
Oh yeah.
I had heard something about it, but didn't know if it was a done deal or not. Didn't look into it enough to, confirm. I just wasn't interested enough. It sounded like a rumor more than it was a thing that had happened. So Kyler Murray is the guy in Minnesota.
Yeah, pretty much cemented Rodgers staying a Steeler as long as he's going to play this next season.
Okay. That's that's better than JJ McCarthy though. I actually
Yeah,
really like that for Kyler Murray.
yeah. Anything's better than McCarthy at this point.
Yeah, that's also true. This could be now. Would this be more so? I don't. Do you think this goes? How do you think this is going to go? I think it's going to go one way or the other. I think it's going to be a Kyler Murray resurgence era, or it's going to be okay. This guy doesn't have it anymore.
It'll be a Kyler Murray resurgence era for the first 6 games, and then the world's going to come crashing down on him.
Possibly via injury or something. I hope that's not what happens.
Either that, or maybe a new Call of Duty comes out and he stays up too late playing it all the time. I don't know.
Maybe so. When Kyler Murray is healthy, he's fun to watch. Like I like Kyler Murray, the football player. I
Yeah,
like watching him play. I hope he can stay healthy, but that style of play it is doesn't last. It just doesn't in that league. But yeah, I didn't realize that that Kyler Murray had signed with Minnesota, but it's so you still don't want to keep Justin Jefferson with Kyler Murray is the better quarterback, and when he's healthy, he's shown he can play.
I don't know. If we've got a couple of months to think about it, we'll see.
That's the thing that like when's the last time he's completed a full season? I think he played all 16 games back when it was 16 games his first couple seasons in the league, and then he hasn't played a full season ever since. I think
No.
that's I think that's what it is. Another reason I'm not interested in drafting Joe Burrow.
No.
Just because of the injury troubles there, and also how he did me in the fantasy football playoffs. I mean, but that's on me. I'll eat that. But I said what I said there. Okay. Um, Michigan, going back to Michigan, Michigan national champions beating UConn. Did if you got to we would have both picked Michigan, right? Because we had Arizona there. We would have both picked Michigan in that matchup, just based on what we saw.
Based on what we saw in the Arizona game, yes.
Yeah. Michigan was too big, too talented. Michigan, watching that game, Michigan was the better team. You, if UConn somehow pulled it off, it would have been a huge upset.
UConn looked uncomfortable the whole game. And in reality, that game could have been a lot worse, man. Michigan couldn't hit a three to save their life. If they could hit half of them, dude, we're looking at another 20-point win.
Uh, yeah. um, I really like watching UConn just because of Dan Hurley, and plus it's just they play good, fun. I mean, they play good, hard basketball. I
Yeah.
say fun. I don't know. It's fun to watch. I don't think there's anything fun about it. Probably. How do I say this? It's not pretty. It's just good, old school Big East style basketball. Um, and that's kind of we what we saw Monday was it looked like a Big Ten game. If you watch much Big Ten basketball, you know what I'm talking about. They it looked like that kind of game. But
It was bully
UConn,
ball, man.
what?
It was bully ball.
Yeah,
Letting that 7-2 guy just wreck house, man.
well, that's what I would do too if I were Michigan. And I didn't. Some people had said something about the way the game was officiated. Dan Hurley had nothing but positive things to say about the officiating and the officiating crew. I saw no issue there. I think the better. I didn't see anything. Now
I seen
I was
one that was
I
questionable. That should have been a tie up, and they called it
yeah
a foul
yeah, and
on
I was
UConn.
in the kitchen for a little bit, so I think I missed what you're talking about. At least seeing it live, but yeah, I didn't have a problem with the way the game was called. I just think simply the better team won. I think UConn was game. They gave their all, but they simply ran into a better team and what looked
The
like
game changing,
national
yeah,
champ.
the game changing play was whenever they got Michigan got fouled because of the hook and hold, and it was a flagrant one. So they got 2 points, and then got the ball back and got 2 more points. That's a 4 point swing. It was a tie ball game just before halftime. I want to say that was the major turning point in the game.
Yeah, and you knew UConn would be game. You knew that they were going to come to play.
Yeah,
UConn was going to come to play and give it everything they had. They were going to give Michigan a handful. Michigan knew that. I mean, it's Dan Hurley and UConn. You knew what you were going to have to earn the national championship. But Michigan did that. They were better and they did it. We can let's talk about the women's game a little bit before I forget. So the women's Final Four, I didn't watch any of it, by the way. I didn't watch any of the Final Four. I
put
didn't
it
watch
this way: I didn't watch any of the season.
I didn't either.
Like
I caught a little bit of Arkansas, but they were so bad
so
that
bad.
I just tuned out. I would say, oh, let's see how they're doing. Oh, yeah, they're not doing well. And then I would change the channel. Uh, I forgot about the women's game, the championship game being on Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon, right? I was busy, and then I checked my phone and saw that UCLA had beat the brakes off of them, basically. So, yeah, of course, the big story is UConn, South Carolina. Now they did have that on at Texas Roadhouse Friday night. I was at Texas Roadhouse Friday night.
Fancy.
Yeah. Well, the people that are Michelle's friend Ricky, her husband's birthday was Friday, so we went and met them and some other people there, and I had my steak and shrimp and my one Texas Roadhouse roll. I only ever get one roll at Texas Roadhouse, sometimes zero, but I never go above one. I see you making a face. That was everybody else's reaction. What do you
Yeah,
average?
I'm a fat ass. I'm gonna have at least two.
Okay, well, what's your average roll intake at Texas Roadhouse?
Two.
Two.
I don't want to fill up on bread. I'll have one before my meal, and then I'll have one with my meal.
One with the meal. Okay. See, I get the steak and shrimp combo, the sirloin, the 8 ounce sirloin, and the shrimp. and I'll usually get, and it comes with the, I'll usually get the salad and like the seasoned rice with it. I can't fit more than a roll, and I want to make sure that I have room for that other good stuff. Is that worse? I could take some rolls home with me if I want them that bad.
Sure. Well, you know, me being so healthy, I don't partake in the salad. So I've got a little bit extra room with no salad.
Fair enough. Yeah, you do not like
Lettuce
you're
and
not a
me do
big
not
fan
get
of
along.
yeah, you're not a big fan of the veggies from knowing
Now, I
you.
like veggies. Lettuce, I do not like.
What's your favorite veggie?
Man, green beans, that's a vegetable, right?
That is a
I
green
love
bean
green beans.
or
I
a
like
vegetable.
carrots. I mean, I don't know. I do not like lettuce though,
I don't think
or
I've ever
Brussels
seen.
sprouts.
Yeah, when we were in Belgium, oh, I love Brussels sprouts if they're cooked right. Some people can't cook them right,
But
so like
that kale stuff we had was pretty good in Belgium or in Amsterdam,
Arnhem.
Arnhem. Yeah,
Yeah, the Netherlands. Yeah, that was like a moss, like type of moss that they have. I think can't remember what it was.
he said it was a type of kale. I thought
Maybe it is. I don't know, but
it
it's
was called farm. It was called farmer's lettuce, and I was just sitting there going, "Oh crap, something lettuce." I'm sure I'm gonna love it. But
but you ended up liking it, right?
yep, I ended up liking it. It's pretty
Okay.
good.
Yeah. Well, I don't, okay. Let me ask this before we move on. What's the most Texas Roadhouse rolls you've seen eaten by somebody in one sitting at the restaurant, like that you were with?
Oh, probably like four.
Okay. My old coworker Shalonda, we went to Texas Roadhouse, like our department went one Friday, I think, and I watched, and I was kind of watching. I was had it over under in my head of what she was gonna eat, or how many. She had five. She had five rolls right there at the table, and
Did
I
she
was
eat anything
impressed.
else?
She had a little bit of her. I don't remember what she had, but she did have about half of her entree. But she did, and this is not a big girl or anything like that. She just really liked those Texas Roadhouse rolls. And I was just like thinking, how much is she gonna eat? And I wasn't gonna say anything because I didn't want to. I just wanted to organically see what was. I wanted to naturally see what was going to take place. How many were going to naturally be consumed without my interference. And she put down five, and I was impressed. Like, oh, I'm not even
Now,
mad. That's awesome.
I know there are some fat asses out there that will eat like six of them and eat their whole meal and salad all in one sitting. I
Um,
do know those people exist.
they do. I mean, Texas Roadhouse is packed all the time. No matter when I was driving to Benton to go to the Texas Roadhouse, I passed the North Little Rock Texas Roadhouse at like 5 p.m. and it was jam packed. The parking lot was jam
Yeah.
packed at 5 p.m. So I get it.
The, the one in Rogers, as soon the first day they opened the door, yeah, parking lot maxed out, and it stayed that way ever since. I still have
Okay,
not been yet, but
yeah. Can't go wrong with Roadhouse. I mean, it's. I haven't
good
been to a
stuff.
bad. I haven't been to a bad Roadhouse. Okay, going back to the sports stuff, the women's game. Uh, what'd you think of the? Did you see the Geno Auriemma Don Staley exchange?
Yeah, I think everybody's seen that. Yeah,
What did you think of that whole ordeal?
I thought it was a lot of unnecessary griping. Like he shook your hand and walked off, and then you're gonna sit there and threaten to beat his ass. I don't know. People are calling her. I don't know. People said that she was more mature. I didn't see it, but whatever.
Yeah, I did. I definitely did not see her handling things the right way. Gino didn't either. That was
No, neither one of them did. But
his gripe in the with Holly Rowe, of course, saying what Don Staley was saying to the officials and saying that his player had her jersey ripped. from what I heard, I didn't see it, so I can't say for sure. But from what I heard, the player did it to herself, like ripped her own jersey, essentially.
Yeah.
Um, I think Gina was just mad that
Oh, he got
they're
his ass handed to him.
yeah they were getting their asses handed to him. I think he was just mad about that. And I mean, I mean, he's the greatest women's basketball coach, college basketball coach ever. I mean, just look at the numbers. What was it? 11 national championships, I think it is.
Yeah. But she should have just laughed it off, said F you, and just kept walking. Like,
Yeah, she didn't need to get into a shouting match with him like that. I understand sticking up for yourself and all that, but it's like you said, just beat them on the court, which they did. Um, but then they turned around and got it handed to them by UCLA in the championship game. Don Staley, I mean, she does have, I think, 3 national championships, which is plenty to be proud of. I covered the team at the SEC tournament when they were in North Little Rock, back when it was Verizon Arena, and that was a really good. They of course won the SEC tournament easy that year, but yeah, and then went on to win the national championship. I I don't know. I mean, 3 national championships is a lot, but I don't know. I just figured she had more, but I mean, South Carolina's gotten it handed to them the last 2 national championships, so that's interesting to see. Before we get out of here, what do you think, or what's the news on Razorback basketball? I know DJ Wagner, Carter Knox have entered the transfer portal. Have you heard anything on Malik Thomas?
I thought he was declaring for the draft.
Okay. That you could be right. I know he's projected somewhere midway through the first round, if that's or late in the first, somewhere in the first round. If that's the case, go ahead and go. I get it.
Yeah, we have 0 of 5 starters, and we're already preseason ranked number 11. So somebody knows something we don't.
Yeah. Well, I believe in Cal. He'll figure it out.
Yeah.
More players are coming. That's the Cal effect, including the
Well, I say that we got 2 McDonald's All Americans.
yeah
Those are 2 of the 5. So
one
he's
of
off to a
which is
pretty good start.
the high school player of the year. But so plenty to be excited about. But we're out of time, so we'll see y'all next time. Till then, I'm Graham Powell.
Brother Brown.
Who's the y'all?
Peace. Watch the Masters.
Masters. No Tiger or Phil this year.
Yeah, first time in like 20 something years.